Recording in progress.
How's it going, Dan?
Good, good. We've got a big group today. Craig, good to see you again.
Likewise, nice seeing you too.
This is an exciting day. Here we go. It's a new TV revolution. All your movies and shows in one place, powered by AI. Having everything in one place, and we see some of the movies we like there. There's Top Gun. Yeah, get ready to give your favorite movie. Here we go. David Lupkin.
Okay, great. Favorite movie, Best in Show.
Awesome.
Nice.
Kim.
Hi. Favorite movie, Overboard.
That's a good movie.
Nice.
Favorite movie is Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
It's probably end up going to be in Top Gun Maverick.
So I'm going to go with Star Wars: A New Hope. You can tell by the background. I'm a big fan.
Get on.
I'm just gonna say Surf's Up because it's the best movie of all time.
Surf's Up.
I hope you guys have seen it.
Oh yeah, well, I've seen it several times. So welcome everyone. This is mighty exciting. Hey Kevin. So it's exciting for us. We want it in our homes. We know that there are people all over the world that are eager to have it as well.
One of the exciting things you're all going to get, if you are on this call, you are an advisory council member, you're going to get in the top right corner, you're going to see eventually there's going to be this recognition of the founders and they're going to be numbered. So the exciting part about getting in early is that you get to have this early adopter recognition. You get to open your interface and get this recognition, which may come with extra bells and whistles, yet to be determined. So we're super geeked about that. There are 4 aspects, layers of the filtering of content that we're going to show you. Today, what we're bringing you is aggregation. Today, we're going to show you how Apple TV, Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, and YouTube are all going to be available from one source. So I'll show you a quick overview of the tech. Here you go. This is your search. We call this the carousel. In technology development, this carousel is repeatable. So we could, for example, scroll down and see more of these quote unquote carousels. Right now we don't. You can see how it bounces. It's not quite there yet. We don't think it's got all the bells and whistles we want. But we do like the fact that when you mouse over, you get a little bit more readability, and we think the resolution could do better. And basically the search is good. When you come up here, you get the option, little icon here. You can see instead of 5 up, you get to see 14 up. For those of us who have maybe better eyesight, they're more snappy. They can move through a lot more titles more quickly, and that becomes a more useful experience. I would love to know, as you go out to test this, which we're going to give you a testing code, which is better for you?
I like this view.
Okay. All right, very good.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The more you can put on one screen, the better.
Do you like 2 up where you get to see 2 rows flying around at the same time like that?
Yeah, 2 is good.
Yeah, because typically only 1 row. This is something we would be the first to have done that. Typically, I'll go quickly to Netflix, just because Netflix I think is a good alternate approach to this. Netflix is working on a different platform. And their platform's not quite as snappy. You can see that when I mouse over, it doesn't jump as quickly.
It's actually a pain point on Netflix's interface, is the lag, that latency, and then having to scroll all the way through that list while it wants to try to play every single thing.
Yeah.
And that drives me absolutely crazy. Like, I can't stand that. I'll actually even just turn it off because it's made me so mad that I'm done for a little while and move on to another channel and watch something else.
Interesting. Anybody else feel that way or feel differently about that?
Likewise, and I think the 2.3 sort of gives the users a different experience than they have with other streaming services.
Latency is a big deal because it's that frustration. Is it going to give me what I want when I want? I'm like, that's booking. That's just booking. So we're super excited about the latency and the work that was done to get that there. You basically it goes faster than the human eye can go, gets you that content at the high pace you're looking for.
It sort of separates us from them because we're doing it sort of a different way than everybody else is doing.
Now I'm going to go back to Netflix and try to do the same thing. I'm clicking as fast as I can.
And it can't keep up.
That's as fast as it goes. Right. Let me show you the next stage. So let's say you choose a movie. I heard, I think Kara said she likes Inception. So if we click on Inception, now you can see we can show you where you already have a subscription to Amazon. And ideally, most people do. I think it's close to 80% of the population does. So then we give you that immediate access to the content that you already subscribe to. And it's going to be highlighted in blue. And then it's going to show other options if you have other options like that. So for example, you click into your Amazon, you're now seeing Inception, and here's where ClearPlay kicks in. Now currently this is all branded ClearPlay. Eventually this is going to have our branding on it. It's going to have a few features that are different. So for example, sex and nudity, you can say I want none of it. And you basically are now clicking the customization. That means your filtering is on. And then this says, no, I don't mind seeing it. Now it's off. Now you could say I want to turn it on, but I want to customize it. I want to go into different areas of this. There are nuances within. And let's go here. Okay, under violence. So under violence, you have strong action violence, gory, brutal violence, or disturbing images. I don't like disturbing images. So let's make sure that we turn that one on. Gory, I don't mind a little gore or a little strong action. So now you can actually dial in specific areas of your viewing. And then when you go to play, and literally when you push a button over here to play, it will play it with those edits already in there. One of the things that we're going to be adding, but is not ready yet, is news. We're going to have a news feed in this part of the page. It's going to aggregate from 3 sources. The Dove Foundation. The Dove Foundation gives us our ratings so that when this is set up, you will see the library that relates to their Dove ratings on those very measures. The second one is IMDb, which gives their kind of like critic scores and public scores, and then Rotten Tomatoes, which really is a good kind of public score rating. Is there any other rating source when we get to this side, when we start adding our news feed, any other rating source that you think is important that we'll want to add to this?
Sorry,
I always kind of like
one
it,
more time?
the local one. So like if there was a MyStreme rating,
MyStreme.
so that other customers were saying, like, I think the other sources is great,
Yeah.
but the people who use this are likely to be people I relate to. So
Yep.
seeing their views would be useful.
Agreed. Completely agreed. One of the things we're working on, and by the way, this is one of the applications where we develop things like, for example, this is where you get your founder's mark design being developed. One of the things we've been working on is what does it look like if you were to create what we're calling fan channels or hype lists, which a fan channel is where an individual, for example, this is Chaz Ortiz, maybe he would have his own channel of skateboarding content, and he can aggregate and present to his friends. I like Gleaming the Cube, or one of the famous Tony Hawk films. This down here is maybe a fan channel for popular content that this particular movie community loves. And so that you could have then my hype list, the movies that I watch with my family, and you could share it with your friends. Anybody have any ideas about what you would do with that? If would you rather it be some famous celebrity or a movie critic, or would it be more likely to be your friends and family members?
Are you talking like, what does Taylor Swift watch and everybody wants to watch the shows that she does, or?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm all about what friends and family are watching. I really don't care what the celebrity of the day is watching. Really don't care.
Well, isn't Spotify like both?
Yeah.
I mean, I love to share with my family, friends, what I'm watching because they want to see what I see. But I also sort of I listen to my spin coach's playlist. I would want the same thing for this, right? The people I trust as being. So I think like movie reviewers would be a great way to have a list. You know, what's his face like would be good.
See, I think of it more from a standpoint of, when I'm using Yelp, I'm an elite. So therefore, I'm going to look more for the elite users first and see what their opinions are. So I don't know if, is there a way to sort of rank those who have rated so much, a diamond user or platinum user or something and say, hey, what are the platinum users? What did they rate it? Because platinum users may have 200 plus, they've reviewed 200 plus movies or something along those lines. Do you have any mechanisms in place that would prevent someone from just signing up and then going in and trying to mess with all the ratings of everything without actually physically watching them?
I would say, Craig, sorry to jump in, Dan,
Yeah.
but I think that's why we found it was so important to not only aggregate the content you're watching, but aggregate the ratings that you're getting. So, a lot of people just go to Rotten Tomatoes and that's it. And sometimes we've seen in the media and whatnot, there's review bombing, where, like you said, people aren't really giving it a fair shot. They hear one thing from some article and they just go in and they give it a 1 star. But by aggregating reviews from several different sources, and then like Dan explained, using AI to curate those reviews as well, I think that puts in a little bit more of a safeguard than you would normally have by just going to one site and seeing what they have to offer.
And it's the goal in the end is to stream like a boss. We want to give curated content for whatever your gang is. What do you want to see? This is not about censorship, about bringing what we believe is important. And we're going to say we know you want access to all of it, but it's about what you believe is important. You're going to have community members that are going to support streaming libraries that you'll build together, and you'll be able to endorse content to your families and your members and your communities, so that you're going to be able to get the content you love. And so then what you get, hopefully, is this, an interface where you get to see your favorites all there at the top. Do we have that today? No, we do not. We don't have that today because it doesn't know you yet. The artificial intelligence has to learn, it has to be trained. Curating is the second phase. That's where we start narrowing the content to more of the content you like based on recency or what you saw last, or genres you love, or watch lists, likes, things like that. And then it goes to rating. Rating is going to come, of course, from you, from the users, and especially our super users coming in earlier. The founders are going to be creating ratings for things at some point, so that when we go live, ratings will already exist. It won't come out of the ether. And then we'll add reviews from your favorites, maybe IMDb, maybe the Dove Foundation. We're going to add different rating organizations, but then curating all of those ratings and then organizing them in the way that matters most to our users is going to be done by artificial intelligence. Ultimately, artificial intelligence giving your scorecard and rating and narrowing the content and organizing it so that you see the right content first. And before we had AI, you could not do it. There are nearly 1 trillion titles, 1 trillion titles of content on the internet. It's not likely that any user is ever going to get in there, and even user-generated organizations never going to do that. It's going to take a lot of artificial intelligence. And then we're going to add one last feature, and that is filtering. We call it boundaries. ClearPlay would call it ClearPlay because that's how they created the technology to skip content that was unwanted. Our boundaries features adds not only the filtering within the content that ClearPlay offers, it actually widens the net and says, well, let's look at what content is filtered, what content isn't filtered, and we will show you your libraries based on the parameters you set. So maybe you don't want to see a title of Saw or Halloween 13 or whatever it is that you don't like the covers in your family rooms. We're going to prevent you from seeing those titles if you don't want to see those titles. Boundaries offers 2 layers of filtering, never done before, and the package of all of this has never been done before. Getting this in one place is really the big difference. If we click on, for example, here, these are your labels. You've got sex, and you can set your sex to say, I want it to be family friendly. I don't want to see any sex. Language, well, we might be somewhere in the middle. Let's give that and these are, you can see they're kind of rated along scores of your ratings from a G to a R. So you can kind of see where you are in that range. If you're saying violence, well, I'm going to watch Jurassic Park with my kids, for example. I don't know how much violence I can actually get out before it's going to be a 5-minute movie. So you got to think about where you're going to dial that. And then drugs, well, I don't know. If someone's smoking in a movie in America, people don't really notice anymore. But if you go to India, it's actually illegal. They're not allowed to broadcast movies with smoking in it. So if you're in India, you're going to set that way over here and say, I don't want to see any smoking. And then nudity, of course, if you've got some 12-year-olds in the room, you don't want any of that. And then there's other, which is just kind of categories that you can dive deeper into, and it actually adjusts in various nuances. At this stage, I could leave my rating at rated R, and you will never see the rated R content of any of these. So there's really no reason to change this particular bar if you want to do that. And then you can add the clear play skipping into that mix, which says I now want the filtering tool to actually apply that to my films. So the dream that we have is to bring together the right team, the right tech. So far, we've had some really big breakthrough moments. Our tech is the breakthrough of the purchase of FanFlix, which is a technology that some of the members on this call have been a part of. We're now doing acquisitions, we're doing mergers, we're doing different things with different technologies. ClearPlay filters are now in a letter of intent, and we're working with ClearPlay to add those filters. I heard VidAngel mentioned. ClearPlay was the originator of the technology. ClearPlay has the patent on the technology that VidAngel uses. So ClearPlay is the original. They actually they had created laws. There was the Family Copyright Act of 2005, created to allow us this filtering ability to watch the movies the way you want without the scenes you don't want. And then we have AI TV patent recently secured to provide AI curation, meaning that artificial intelligence databases tied to your preferences will present content to you, and it will sort and arrange and curate. That technology has to be created. We have the patent to it, though, and it gives us an opportunity to get ahead. We're building a pretty impressive team. The team that's come together has been involved in some of the films. The team behind The Passion of the Christ, I think, was a significant team. Paul Lauer, who you'll meet at some point, I don't think he's on this call today, but he brings a database, and that database started at The Passion of the Christ. It was a group of people supporting a different type of filmmaker, and that group became passionate to ask for more films like that. And that database that got started during that influencer engagement campaign kind of led to a lot of the others that were actually mentioned. I heard Narnia mentioned among some of our community here. Some of the technology that we've been involved in from our team include the apps and the social media technologies behind the launch of Disney movies and Warner movies, movies like Tangled or Winnie the Pooh or The Hobbit, and even the technology called Center Stage behind Chick-fil-A that activates all the daddy-daughter date nights and connects all the franchisees together. The team that developed that technology is also now your team to this community of V0.1 crowdfunding. Today it's 200,000, and we are very, very close to making an announcement of 300,000 members within this community based on what you're seeing on the screen, bringing some of this relationship to bear. The studies that we've been doing is understanding the market, understanding what you want, understanding what our customer wants, and they're frustrated. And we will see this in our ads that are running now. We're doing video interviews with people on the street. And this survey in particular, I believe, came from Accenture, who did a study and found out 60% of the population says they would switch if they had an opportunity, missing half the game because they couldn't figure out who was streaming it, going places where they think they're getting what they want. What we're promising is no more endless scrolling on multiple streaming platforms, no more paying for subscriptions you don't use, searching for the remote to skip agendas you don't support, and no more weeding through the thousands of titles looking for a needle in the haystack. It's that stack of needles, pinpointed movies just tailored for you. Now, that's a big promise. We don't have all of that today. We have what we're going to show you. And hopefully what we're going to show you is a good start toward that.
I'd give it a 10.
All right.
I'm excited to see it. It seems like everything that annoys me with the other apps is going to be a problem solved. I'm excited. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
I think we're on the right track.
I just want to thank you guys again for letting us be a part of this, because nowhere in my life would I ever have the opportunity to be a part of this, or like Calculated, your updates for that, MyStreme. It's so exciting to me. I tell people about it and they're like, what? I'm like, I'm serious. I'm in this stuff. And they just laugh at me. But once it becomes mainstream, they're going to say, is this what you were doing? So yes, I got to be in all the meetings with all the executives. So thank you.
We love it.
So you playing with this, your responses are really important to us, and we're not looking for pats on the back. Encouragement is encouraged, but we also want your, what if you did this? And I was thinking about, and these are things that really matter to us, especially Kevin, but all of us. We're really keen on things that we can do to make it really just whip smart, and things that make it over the top.
I have a question.
Go for it.
We were watching a movie last week. I think it was called Strays. Did you see that? It's a new one. It has animals. We thought it was a kid's movie. It had all kinds of foul language and sexual connotations.
Okay, you can chat it.
And when we were watching it, I said, this would be a great movie for MyStreme, for the boundaries. So I was wondering, how do you do that?
So I'll explain to you quickly. The way that the edits are created is there are rows and rows of editors looking at movies and then creating what we in points and out points. So they'll go into that movie, and let's say it's the movie Titanic. And maybe we think it's a great movie for the family and our 15-year-olds and 12-year-olds until that one scene where there's a nude scene, or the scene in the car that maybe some of us remember. They would find that scene and they would mark the beginning of that scene and mark the end of that scene. And then we would tell the player to skip that section. And then it would be labeled. And it would say, for example, nudity. And that nudity label would be then sent to your boundary settings. You set your settings to say, I don't want to see anything marked nudity. And then when it comes to that scene in the movie, it'll skip it. And it's based on a human going in there and saying, here's the best place to end that scene. Here's the best place to begin the next. So it feels less of an abrupt kind of random cut.
And they do that for every single movie?
7,000 movies to date, which means
that's crazy.
Well, more than 90% of all box office revenue has now been manually edited. Movies that represent that much revenue has already been edited. So we have that content, and that goes back decades. Friends of the family and people we've worked with for years over there have been, many of them working a labor of love to get those edits done.
Yeah, well, we're glad to have you here and participating. This is all crucial for us. This is, if you can imagine, things that are big now that weren't then. Amazon starting was really family and friends, and and even Gmail. It was amazing how they began with just a small group, but the feedback is just is really crucial.
All right, thank you all. Have a great day, and we're gonna be signing out. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Good meeting everybody. Take it easy.
Thank you.